I want to give a huge thank you to Chris Jones for sponsoring today's video.
Hey everybody, happy holidays. Well, after 3 months of construction, I can finally reveal my next build, and it's going to be the Mega Death Star Diorama project. This over here is the maquette that I built to help me plan out what's coming up in the next couple of months. Let's get to it. My name's Frank Diorio. You're watching DioramaWorkshop.com. Okay, so we're in my home office now. Here's the little cubicle with all my figures there where I do my editing and everything. So my plan is I wanted to create a mega Death Star that will cover the entire wall surface of my office here, going from one corner of the room all the way across, all the way down to the floor, and then all the way across to the other side. Now, because this surface, if I back up even more, this surface is so big, I wasn't sure exactly where everything would fit, and so I decided to build myself a maquette, which is 40% smaller than the actual size, so I would know this room fits there, this room fits here, this is good, this is good. So this is the actual height of the room by the actual width of the room. Now the diorama will be kind of divided in half through this section here, where you have the right side with the big rooms, and then you have the left side with the smaller rooms stacked, finishing with the chasm here on the top. Now what's going to be cool about this Mega Death Star is that you don't have to build all of the rooms that will be included in the project. If you only want to build a trash compactor, or if you only want to build one of the sort of the red rooms or the conference room, you can do that and then connect them like Lego side by side on your shelf or stack them. So this is the design that I chose to fit in my wall surface of my office. So in the corner, we're going to have the 3 basic hallways A, B, C stacked like this. And then right next to it, we're going to have the trash compactor. And the reason I put it there is we have the detention hall here where the Princess Leia cell and where they blast and jump into the garbage chute. So it makes sense that the garbage chute would land into the garbage trash compactor over here. Now this is going to be a huge project. So on the bottom right will be the Falcon docking bay. Because of the elevator that we see over here, the floor is elevated, and the height of this is the height of one of the main hallways over here. So I'll be able to copy some of these, and instead of seeing the black that we see there, I'll be able to just insert, instead of these temporary supports that I did, insert a hallway to make it look even more interesting than just like a black space over there. Now it's hard to see because it's so dark in there, but the docking bay will include the small blast door design where Leia, Han, and Luke, they come out from the trash compactor and see Bennett and Vader fighting in this blast door. And this will be with light up neons, and it'll have all the exact movie textures, decals, new to 2023, which are based on the movie stills that I did during the research for this project. The Vader Duel will actually be the first build that we're going to do in January as a request from one of my patrons, Chris Jones, and so ask and I shall obey. Now going back to the left, 4 levels up, because the docking bay here will be 4 levels. We have the laser control room over here, which is where they destroyed Alderaan. So all of these panels, I did movie still research, and they are all placed exactly where they're supposed to be. And we even found references of the power plant where they filmed this, so you get all the controls, exactly all the buttons the way that they're supposed to be. It's going to be such a fun build, this one. Then, right next to the laser control room is the red control room. I call it the red control room because of the red panels over here. Now, the reason I placed this room over here at this area is because you have the windows where they look down to the Falcon Bay, where the Stormtrooper is pointing at his helmet saying that he can't hear the guy. And so that makes sense that you're going to have the window somewhere here, which you'll be able to see through and look into this room where the action figure will be standing by the window, just like in the movie. Now, the placement of the docking bay I thought made sense on the bottom right, because we're going to be able to put the force field over here against the wall, and I'll be able to put a black drape with some stars against here, since we don't see outside. Then on the 5th floor of my design, we're going to have the detention cell. So you have the elevators where Luke, Han, and Chewie come out with the consoles, brand new console designs, improved from 2005. And then you have the doorways over here to enter, where Princess Leia, this is the back end, but this is where Princess Leia's cell is. So I'm going to have that open facing so that you can see when Darth Vader is entering with the probe droid, and then you'll have Princess Leia laying on her bed or something. At least that's the plan. And then, as I mentioned before, the panel over here is what leads to the trash compactor. So that's going to be the placement of that. And then another reason I put it at the bottom here is that if we look all the way at the top of the chasm, you have the elevators from that scene. So it'll look like the elevators go up and down into the detention. I'll get back to this a little later on. So on this level, on the right side of the divider, is going to be the curved wall that curves that way, or like that. And then you have the curved wall here that goes this way. So it'll do like a half moon on top of the ceiling over here. So in between the curved left wall and the curved right wall, you're going to have the conference room. Since the conference room is round, it only made sense that it would be fitting in between the half moon of the circle of the curved hallways. So it's the same height as well as the basic hallways, which are the same as the curved hallways. So it makes sense to put that over here. I might put some little corridors or something in the space in between that you have missing over here. I'll do that on the fly when I'm designing the full-scale diorama. Now, if we go one floor above the curved wall, we will have the Destruction of Alderaan room with brand new console designs to match the movie accuracy. And then we have the entrance over here where Princess Leia enters and finds Tarkin and Darth Vader over here. Now, this is tricky. I think I figured it out, but I might be doing some little changes come March or February when I do the final version of that. And then to the right of that room, because it's the same height over here on the movie sets, I am having, for the first time, I never built this one before at Celebration Convention. This is the laser tower room. This is where the lasers are shooting out of the thick blast doors. And the reason I put this also is because since we have the laser field over here, it makes sense that you're going to see the star field outside of here. So the placement of this above the docking bay just makes sense. Chris, one of my patrons, he's going to try and do 3D printing of these little lasers for me. We're going to see how that turns out. I think that if I was to do this in foam core, it would be very difficult. So we're going to see what happens. We found a good model reference. We just have to see if it prints at the 375 scale, since the design of the laser was made for 6-inch diorama figures. Above that, we will have, even though it's not Death Star 1 from episode 4, because I have the height that I need over here based on the chasm over there, I'm going to place the Palpatine arrival. That way I'll be able to place my shuttle over here, and that'll make a cool little display for this side. And then I will do a scene that I've never done in deluxe form, which is the Palpatine sitting on his throne with the Vader and Luke duel from Return of the Jedi. These two scenes will be Return of the Jedi, Death Star 2, but I needed some filler to finish the wall. So I thought, let's do that. It's a bit of a cheat, but it's going to look really cool. On the left, if we go back here, we have the Chasm. So we have the actual measurements from the blueprints. You have the little ramp where Luke and Leia are. And you have over here on this side, the entrance where they run in and up the little ramp over here. And then the Stormtroopers are on this bridge when they're shooting at each other like that. Now, believe it or not, I did movie stills, and all of the neons are placed exactly at the same position that you see in the movie. So this is 100% movie accurate for all the positioning of the lighting. I'm going to build this with light up LEDs in the back. So that would make a really, really cool final diorama for that. Now at the top, we have the same elevators that you see in the detention area. You have the little bridge here where they're waiting for the elevator to go rescue the princess. And this wall here will continue all the way up to reach the top of this area of the elevators to make a nice clean seam with all of the other rooms over there. Now on this side is the inner circle of the chasm. And because of the width over here, there's all this empty space in the back. Then my friend Steven, he said, why don't you repeat the pattern over here, place it on the back side of this curved wall to replicate kind of this over here, and then you can place the Ben Kenobi tractor beam, and then you could have that scene on its own, and then keep this one fresh for Princess Leia and Luke doing the swing across. So there you have it. That's the plan of the next couple of months, to be recreating the maquette in full 3.75 figure scale in order to fill the entire wall with the Death Star diorama, Mega Death Star diorama. So the plan is also to give to you the free decals, free blueprints, and free tutorials as I do for all the other projects after each build. So you don't have to wait till I finish the entire wall before you start building at home whatever room that you want to make. Now you won't want to make all the rooms necessarily. Not everyone has the space that I'm planning or designed my diorama to be in, but if you want to build a simple shelf diorama of one of the red rooms or the laser towers or whatever that you want to make, you'll be able to do that after the creation of the diorama that I did myself. Now I'm aiming for one room per week. That is fingers crossed. It might be every 2 weeks. Since there's no one helping me, I'm a one-man show, as you know. I have to build the dioramas, then I have to finish the final blueprints and the final decals. So usually that takes 1 day each. So we're already into 2 days for that. The build might take 1 or 2 days. Editing sometimes takes 3 days. So we're already 5. So it should fit if I work every day, which I can if I'm not distracted by my PlayStation and PlayStation VR coming out in February. I can't wait. So that's the plan. So every week there should be a new video. And then when we finish the Death Star wall, Mega Death Star, I keep forgetting to put the Mega in there. When I finish building the Mega Death Star, we're going to be moving on to Celebration 4, which is Endor, and then Celebration 5, which is Hoth later on in the year. So it's going to be an exciting 2023. I'm really hoping that you will stick around and join me on the adventure, and that it'll probably, hopefully, inspire you to make some dioramas of your own in your own house and display your action figures. Because I know if you're watching this, it means that likelihood you already own action figures, or you like action figures and Star Wars or things like that. So hopefully you'll be making your own, and then you can send them in for the visitors page in the website, which is a really cool thing that you have the option to do as well. So I'm starting to ramble already. This video, I don't want to make it too long because it's the holidays and you want to get back to your festivities, I'm sure. So that's the exciting plans for the next 3 months. I hope you're as excited as I am. And that's about it. So Frank Diorio, ciao for now. Bye. Thanks for watching DioramaWorkshop.com. If you want more interactivity, you can follow us on these multimedia platforms. If you have a question about past or future Star Wars Celebration workshops, send me an email at dioramaworkshop.com@gmail.com. If
If you have a Facebook account, join the official Star Wars Celebration Diorama Builders fan club today. If you like the video, please subscribe, share, and tell your friends to come check us out. If you want to see even more Star Wars Celebration crew coverage, click on the link to warp to dioramaworkshop.com, the official Star Wars Celebration Diorama Builders website.